We begin tonight with a pause in tariffs on goods from the EU. Negotiators from the U.S. and European Union met today saying they're committed to a deal. Now, this comes after the EU president said she and President Trump had, quote, a good call, leading the president to delay the 50% tariffs on European Union goods to July 9th. Willie James Inman joins us live from the White House with more on that. Willie James, what do we know in terms of what is the biggest items that the U.S. imports from the EU?
Hey there, Drika. Good to be with you and to see you on this Memorial Day. Well, the president said that he wanted to put a 50% tariff on goods from the European Union. Now, it certainly could mean more expensive goods when you look at pharmaceuticals, which we import from the EU. On top of that, you have heavy machinery. We already have seen an import tariff in terms of that 25% tariff on foreign automobiles. But clearly, the White House is going about this and saying that they want to give some breathing room for the negotiations to take place. The president responding to that phone call by from the president of the European Union Commission, asking for more time, delaying this start of these tariffs that the president threatened, in large part because the negotiations weren't moving as fast as they have been moving with other countries, like the UK, for instance, which the White House says that they have struck a deal with the United Kingdom for a trade deal. Also, Asian nations like South Korea, Vietnam, moving forward with those negotiations. The White House is saying they're going to delay this. Now we'll see those tariffs maybe go into effect on July 9th, at least for now. That gives a little bit more time for those conversations to take place. And both sides say they're essentially speeding up those talks.
Willie James, before the weekend, there was a lot of talk about the increased tariffs on iPhones potentially. Have there been any more discussions on that, or where do we stand? And I know my 11-year-old daughter specifically wants me to hurry up and buy these phones before they cost a lot more than they do.
Yeah, that's right. That's certainly a top-of-mind concern for anyone who has a smartphone. The president said that he would put a 25% tariff on Apple goods specifically. This is so far a threat in terms of the tariff talks that have been going back and forth and coming from the White House and the president. And now, he was asked about that Friday when he had an event in the Oval Office, and he said that other companies like Samsung could also be affected. So this could potentially lead to increase prices for those smartphones. Now, it's important to note that Apple hasn't given any indication as to whether or not it'll ramp up or move a lot more production on those iPhones back here to the United States. There are countries that already produce iPhones, like India and China, for instance, and experts warn that if you were to produce a device like an iPhone here in the U.S., because of increased labor costs, it could lead to higher prices.
Yeah, those discussions are critical as they try to figure it all out. Willie James Inman at the White House tonight. Thank you.